Right, so I had to start the previous video, download it and see if it's actually recording because it keeps losing signal. And this is Zoom, so it shouldn't really make a difference whether it's internet is on or not, because I'm just recording. It keeps going off, so hope it can't be as all right. But anyway, I'm just gonna have to put the two videos together so I'm not repeating myself a million times. So anyway, today I wanted to do something with a little bit more structure, and hopefully that's going to provide something that people may take for it that's helpful. And then I thought, right, I need to start writing stuff down as well. So I've got, why are people not happy? Because I think that's the ultimate thing I want to get to is helping people enjoy life and make the most out of life. You know, mental health is rife. People are going to have bad days. It's part of living, and I think it helps you appreciate the good days when you do kind of sail for the bad. This is so frustrating. It's going up. Yeah, so that is the ultimate goal, is to get people in a good state of mind so they can enjoy their life and make the most out of it, see their full potential, know why they are the way they are. Is it because of things that's happened you know, in the past, the condition that they went through, but everything boils down to, basically, not every single thing, but a lot of things boil down to belief systems. So like our perception of things. So something could happen, but then you have the ability to react to that however way you choose. So you can get angry, you can get upset, you can kick off and feel sad, or you can look at it as a challenge and go, do you know what, I failed here, I've made this mistake, what have I learned from this? And you can kind of move forward with other things. So this is what's happening now. I'm getting distracted because it keeps stop recording and going off. But anyway, let's hope it doesn't happen again. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. And I've wrote things down. I've got, why are people not happy? And the first thing that's come up, because people can explain this differently, and I've watched so many videos, listened to so many audiobooks, read books, but I still feel like I haven't got it in a structure enough to then explain it in simple terms, so it's easier for people to grasp without thinking it's this big complex thing, which it kind of is. But I'm trying my hardest to get it so I can kind of like nail bits down to make it easy to kind of digest for people. So I've got, why are people not happy? And then I literally wrote the past, the present, the future, right? So let's see if we sum it up to that. You've got your past life, you've got your present right now, which really is every second, like this present, not like just this week, although this present it's still the same, it's still the present, even though, you know, yesterday was the past, but you know what I mean. And then you've got your future, right? So you've got three elements: past, present, future. So where we are now, I mean, if you're a kid and you've got parents, this is not necessarily the case, because you're where you are because, you know, your parents had you, and this is the environment that you are in. So I'm on about like if you're an adult right now. So for adults, where you are now is being down to your choices. And again, this is going to be tricky because depending on the family you've been brought up with, there's some cultures where you've kind of got to marry this person, you've got to do this, and so this is not going to go for everybody, but I'm talking about generalization here. So the majority of people where you are is because of the choices you've made in the past. So the job you have is because you decided that you want to go for that interview, whether that was because you had to, because you needed a job, or because somebody went, oh, you needed a job, and oh, here's a job, and you took it thinking it's just going to be temporary. Whatever the reason is, you've made a choice at some point to get where you are. You know, so like myself, I'm here right now because of things that I've done in my past. You know, I met my partner and we rented a house, and we ended up buying a house. We decided that, you know, I'll come off the pill. If I have a child, I have a child, which was quite quick that happened. So all these things that's happened now is because of choices. Now, don't get me wrong, some people it's a mistake. Like, so for example, say if you were you know, attacked and abused and you end up falling pregnant and didn't realize you were pregnant, had a baby, didn't want it. So there is lots of different elements to this. So it's really, really hard to kind of try and keep it general without us wanting to kind of go off and apologize and go, if you're sitting there watching going, well, I didn't choose this. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I've chose my life. I've chose the things that I've wanted, but I'm still unhappy. I'm still feeling a little bit depressed, which I've never been depressed ever. So it's really, really odd and even to say that out loud. So anyway, where you are now is most of the time is from the decisions and things you've choices you've made. Now, those choices you make that I've made, you make them, and sometimes it's in a split second because it's subconscious, is because of what you believe about that choice and how you perceive that situation to be. So, for example, I may have got offered a really good job or good money, but I might have felt like, well, I'm not good enough because, in the past, I've been told that I would never amount to anything. I'm not good enough. So then I might not have went for that really good job and went for something which was mediocre, which then found myself into this next situation and the next situation. So everything kind of like, it has a knock-on effect on your decisions, and it comes down to your past experiences and belief systems, which are from what you experience firsthand, from what people tell you, what your parents tell you, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know if I said this before, but why are people not happy? Past, present, and future. So that all happens in your past, gets you to where you are in your present, but also the decisions you make are not just what's happened in the past, but they're also beliefs about the future. Like, you might make a decision and think, this is going to be the best decision for me for where I want to be. And you make decisions based on that. And sometimes it can be right and sometimes it can be wrong. But everything is based on your belief system and the decisions you make around them, and how you feel about, your past and your present. So when I've just wrote that down there, I thought, actually, that is it will be complex, but it seems I quite like that past, present, future explanation, because it kind of just gives you that box of like, I'm here in the present and I'm here because of things in the past and my worries about the future. I'm here because of choices in my belief system. So if I've got here because of things that's happened in the past and because of how I think about the future, then if I'm not happy with where I am now, then I can use that same process to get to where I would like to be. I just need to maybe change my belief systems. So if all of my choices I've made are simply not right because of where I found myself, then I need to look at those choices and why I'm making those choices. So, for example, with me right now, which is very true, I'm overweight. I'm not happy about that. I'm making the negative choice to eat unhealthy foods, to eat high calorie foods, to eat over my calories. Those are bad choices, and I know that that's the reason why I'm here. So I know it's so simple as to just, eat healthy, do some fasting, cut out, high calories, do a bit of keto. I know what it is that I need to do, but this is where the tricky part comes in. It's the doing it, which I've said in another video. And I think this is where a lot of gurus and a lot of people go wrong, because they say to people, oh, this is what's wrong with you. This is what you need to do. But I think a lot of people know what they really need to do a lot of the time. It's the doing it. But then my belief system at the minute, I believe I'm strong. I believe I'm independent. I believe I can do anything I set my mind to. But for some reason, when I in the morning say, I think, wait, I'm going to be really good, and then I'll come and I'll do that thing, and it's just so in a split moment that I do it. And I'm starting to think it's not my mind, it's my body. My body's craving the sugar or the carbs, it's craving it. So now I recognize that, just a simple mindset thing isn't helping me, because I get over it. My body, I guess, overrides and goes no. And I can imagine it's similar to, addictions. Like, we think people who are addicted to things can just stop. And don't get us wrong, some people have, but I think you have to have something that you want that's greater than what you're doing in that moment. And I think that's it for me. I think there's nothing great in my life at the minute. Like, obviously I love my daughter, but a lot of the time she's hard work, and it's actually a lot of the time why I'm feeling so depressed, because of her attitude, and just the constant battle with things, getting ready, she doesn't want to go to school, loads of different things. It's really, really hard. So then I just comfort myself. And I guess it must be that quick dopamine hit of like, I'm enjoying that choice in that moment, but I know that long term, that's not really having a good choice. It's not going to be good. I'm not going to have the good benefits of it. And I really think for me, I need to replace this bad habit. But before I do that, I need to give myself something that I enjoy. But I've got myself in a situation now where I'm thinking I am a bit overweight. I don't look good. I don't feel good. I've got no energy. So if I was to say, for example, I really want to get into dance. If I was to go to a dance class now, I probably wouldn't go because this is where the big spiral is, this big circle. Probably wouldn't go because I feel rubbish, even though the whole reason for going is going to make us feel better. Because I know that when I go and I start, feeling good and looking good, it's going to help us. But then what I don't want to happen, this is my future worry in my head, it's getting there, everybody looking great and dancing amazing, and me just looking like this little fat dumpling trying to dance, and I can't, and I look rubbish because you've got the mirrors, feeling worse, coming back and then stuffing my face even more. So I think there's a danger to that idea as well. Another thing that I need to do is just get out of the house, because it's when I'm in the house, I'm going to eat. So if I can't take that stuff away from me by not buying it because I've got a daughter, I need to take myself away from this stuff. And I'm sure I've said this in the last video as well. But yeah, but for me, want to help other people. If I look at the world at the minute and look at the situations, I think people's belief systems obviously will be from the past, but I don't think people are thinking about the past so much right now. I think they're worried about the future. They're anxious. Am I going to be able to afford to pay me electric, me gas? Am I going to be able to feed me kids? Am I going to be able to buy enough for Christmas? We're going to have a good Christmas. So I think a lot of people's worries now are the future, and then the uncertainty with what's happening with the tax rises, with the fuel rises, with everything rising. I think people are so worried about the future. And that worry is, it is a survival instinct worry, because, their basic needs are being, what's the word? The security of it is being compromised, like that safety element of feeding your family, heating, which the heating thing, you can wrap up, you can do different things. But in the olden days, we had coal fires. I mean, I've still got a coal fire, thankfully. But you had coal fires, you had the means to kind of grow your own fruit and veg. We've lost independence to look after ourselves, and we rely so much on that external world to do stuff for us, and that when anything goes wrong, I think we all panic and forget that actually in the olden days you'd have to go outside for a shit. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to go outside in a pot, and you'd have to probably throw it down the stream or something. And the convenience of our lives now, I think they've got people so comfortable, and then now that comfort zone's being kind of cracked a little bit. Everyone's panicking, they don't know what to do, but they are real threats, because they're thinking, how can I afford to feed my family? Which is such a shame, and I think that's the biggest thing happening right now. But then because of that, people are stressed, that angry system, the sad, and then who gets the brunt of that as well? That kids, they haven't got enough time to be a parent, to spend with the kids, because they might have to be working more, or they're tired, they're exhausted. And then the kids, like, what is the next generation going to be like? It's just scary to think. So how do you help people like that? Like, how do I help people like that? I wish I could just make loads of money and give loads of money to people. But there you go, money, that is it, money. And stress is about not having enough money. And I do think the system is just absolutely shocking. I think the decisions that the government make are shocking. I think the public should be able to vote on policies and issues that are going to affect us, and stop all this bullshit about parties, because people are falling out, fighting over parties, when really we should be looking at the actual policies themselves. So it's like a talent contest. You know, X Factors, it soon became about the judges. You know, you like a favourite judge and you want that judge to win. It's not about the judges, the talent. It's about the talent on the stage. It's not about the fact that, oh, she's a Geordie lass, she's canny, let's vote for her. But that's what people do. It's likability that people vote for. They buy into people, they buy into you. And I think because of that reason, sometimes they forget the bigger picture, or they forget the fact and the point at hand. Because they're not looking deep enough. Yeah, it started with a little bit of structure in mind that I wanted to talk about. But I'll quickly say as well before I go, because I don't want this to go on too long, is most people in the present, when they're down in the depressed and stuff, I think it can be because, you know, they've felt neglected or unloved, or they have suffered trauma, they've lost somebody, and they haven't processed their emotions correctly, and so it's all pent up, and they've got limiting beliefs about themselves and what they're capable of doing. But mine's a little bit different. I feel like, if anything, that I do try and live in the present, but I'm not happy in my present. I'm not even like thinking so much about the future right now. I'm just thinking, I'm not enjoying living right now. I'm not enjoying every day. I'm not enjoying life. I'm grateful, very grateful. I've got my basic needs met. So I'm super grateful, and maybe I just need to stick there and just not think and let everything else just happen, which is probably what I should do. But I'm thinking, like, I'm not doing anything for me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not enjoying spending time even with my family, when it's like Ruby's like going on, and it just makes us think, oh, you know, like, just get us to bed. Just want to go to bed in the morning. Like, I don't want to get up. Just want to lie all day, eat crap and watch movies. But anyway, mine is my past, because I think I loved being a kid. Like, I loved school. I cried when I left school, because I think I knew that once I left that chapter, like, and maybe this belief system is what's got us here. But I thought, when I've left that chapter, I thought it's not going to be as good. And life's not going to be as good as it has been. Wow, I just got in my head. Maybe it's how emptied this. Anyway, I loved school. I loved learning. I loved going out with my friends. I've worked abroad. Loved that. Sang in girl groups up and down the country. I felt good about my body. Looked good. Obviously felt good. I had a good life. Had a good childhood. A good teenage years. A good start of me 20s. Oh, great. You God, poor David. It sounds like since dealt with David, things have went downhill, and it hasn't, because David is amazing. We got together, rent a house, bought a house, and even we had a good life. Like, would have people coming over to socialise. I think it's since having Rovi, and that's a really hard pill for me to swallow, because obviously she's my daughter and she's the most important thing in my life, and I love her so much. But I think parents don't realise it's hard. So if you haven't got kids, don't just make the decision like lightly, because it's not easy. They're not just cute and adorable all of the time. It's hard work. But she's obviously not the reason she's at school. So I've got all them hours to sort my life out, to go to the gym, to get fit. But I just feel stuck. I feel like I'm in this stage of just numbness, and not knowing what I want to do. I think people and gurus going about, you know, when you know what you want to do, you have to like put a plan together and daily actions and do it. But what if you just don't know? What if you just really don't know? I've got that many things that I would like to do. It's hard to kind of figure out what I want to do. That's going to give us excitement. I think I value excitement, freedom, flexibility, choices, like all these things. I want to live life. I don't want to do the mundane, get up, go to work, come home, have your tea, watch curry, go to bed, get up, go to work, come home, have tea, watch curry. A Saturday, oh, we have a night out on Saturday, hungover Sunday, back to work Monday. I don't want that life. I think life is for living and excitement for me. Excitement, traveling, exploring, meeting people. And I feel stuck. I can't do that. And I think as well, what's really hard is that David is more fearful of things. Like he's like, oh, well, don't get us wrong, it can be practical and helpful that he's got this in him as well, but I don't think he's, I guess, lived as much or went through that fear and then got the other end of it, like risked things and went, wow, that was great. Plays it very safe, but safe is also, or can be very boring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just need a little bit of adventure and to live. And this is probably not helping anybody. But I suppose by me going through this process, someone out there might think, yeah, that is exactly, it makes sense what you're saying. This is how I feel. And I'm just still yet to uncover what's going to work for me to get me out of this place I'm in right now. And I think sometimes you can't get out yourself. I think sometimes you can get that deep. Not that you can't, I think you always can, but sometimes you need that extra person to kind of be the accountability partner for you and kind of help you and support you and push it through. But what I will say is, if you are watching this and you are stressing, I guess it is only money, and I suppose as horrible as this is, sacrifices probably are going to be made where you might have to pack in smoking, but then if that's the only thing that keeps you from getting stressed, it's really hard. It is. But if you can't physically buy your cigarettes, because you've got to pay for your food or your electric, then that's the sacrifice I guess you're going to have to make. Speak to people, ask for help as well. There's so many charities and so many lovely people out there willing to help people who are in need, especially if it's a case of, feeding yourself, feeding your family, putting the gas and electric on. Look online, go on Google, go on Facebook groups. There's got to be people out there next to you that you can reach out, and don't feel ashamed to reach out and say, look, I'm struggling, I'm needing financial help. Ring somebody, please. Don't put yourself through that stress and then pass that stress on, obviously, to your kids. Definitely reach out and ask for help. So on that note, I'm going to go and I'm going to jump on and try and get a bit more structure to what I'm trying to do next week. Anyway, I start this a bit more positive and I'm going to end with a high. Put your hands in the air, apparently it helps. Takes in this chemical thing, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, but if you raise your hands in the air and you smile, it releases happy endorphins. So you just got to do it. So anyway, I hope you're all okay, and I will be jumping on next week. So bye for now.